Good morning.
Morning.
Oh, Tuesday. Is it Tuesday?
Tuesday. Oh, yeah, it's all day Tuesday.
It's all day Tuesday.
The etymology of that word is Tuesday. Is it day 2 of the week?
Oh, probably. Good morning, little love bugs, lovies of the universe. How was your day yesterday? How'd you do? What did we talk about yesterday? Oh my God.
Seizing the day.
Seizing
Carpe
the day.
diem.
Did you seize the day? What did you do yesterday to seize the day? What did you do? I'm trying to think. It's so funny because I have the worst memory in some cases where I'm like, oh, I kind of forget things, but then other things I'm like, does an elephant have a really good memory?
So they say.
When I work with a client, I'll remember their stories and things, or if I haven't seen somebody in a long time and if I've worked with them deeply, I always remember exactly all the details. But other things like what did we talk about yesterday? Escapes the noggin. Just I don't know where it went.
Well, because it's didn't have enough emotional charge to it.
Seize the day.
Once you remembered it, you're like, aha.
Yeah, the first time I heard Seize the Day was in one of my favorite movies of all time, Dead Poets Society, Carpe Diem. Oh,
okay.
Look at that. There's a little cat fight, kids.
Oh, now the dog
Milo's coming to the rescue.
Yeah. So good morning. So we're talking about stuff and achieving new levels of success. And one of the bedrocks of success we're going to talk about this morning are some of the things we need to do with consistency, some of the character traits, and to adopt as a part of our being is dependability. And one of the things you may or may not have noticed for some of you is that we've been dependably showing up at 6:30 a.m. in the morning, Monday through Friday, and so have you. Or maybe you're not watching it live, maybe you're watching it later on, but you know that it's going to be available for you. Some of you may have already subscribed to our YouTube channel where we're dependably, at least every week, getting them all up so they're more easily accessible instead of having to scroll through the news feed here to go, ooh, that looks interesting. So the idea of dependability, the consistency, the habit of showing up. Another word for that might be integrity, right? Where we said we've made the announcement, we're going to do this, and then we did it. Simple stuff, but oftentimes, if you notice, sometimes people will say one thing and then do another.
Why?
Why do they do that?
Well, I'll tell you why I do it. Why do you think people?
Well, they have a variety of reasons. Some people maybe, they didn't mean it in the first place. Maybe they were just kind of placating, like, oh yeah, I should probably do that. Some people, like when you're hungry, you order too much food and then you go, ooh, my eyes are bigger than my stomach here. What was I just thinking? So they take on too much and they're unable to figure it out. Some people don't have the network, so they could say they could do something and maybe they spoke for someone else. Maybe they're like, oh yeah, that person will take care of you and yada, 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 when they haven't actually vetted them or had experience. There's a variety of reasons. I don't know if I touched on the one you were going to.
My biggest reason I want to do something is I don't feel like it. So.
Well, there's that too, I guess.
Which
you get to not feeling like it as well when you also tell all those other stories.
Well, dependability trumps or overcomes feelings, right? Like consistency and habit overcomes feelings. Like right. if I've ingrained brushing my teeth every morning and that's just something that I do, it doesn't matter how I feel about it. I don't check in. I don't feel like doing that today.
And even if you did have a moment of I don't feel like, you're like, I'm going to do it anyway.
And so that's kind of what we're talking about is building that dependability where you don't have to think about it. It's just something that's built into kind of your system of achievement. And when your habits that are, we have a lot of bad habits that we're doing that take us out of the game, and so the only way to get rid of a bad habit is to replace it with a good habit, right? And so you're showing up every morning.
Get rid of a habit and not replace it.
We see a lot of the same people. A lot of people watch this later on, but we see a lot of the same people showing up every morning, and you're building a habit. every single day, whether you deepen your relationship with us and work one-on-one or come to a seminar or not, just having this coming and pouring, loving yourself enough to come to this morning thing and say, all right, great, I'm ready to hear a word this morning. Maybe it'll apply to me, maybe it won't, but I'm going to leave probably better off for tuning in. You're realizing that you can count on yourself. And that's really kind of the bedrock of dependability, is not just other people can count on you, but can you count on you? Can you count on you? Because I'll tell you, the person you flake on and bail on the most is you, right? And I've been guilty of that too, where there's something I want to do that's really good for me, but I'm like, I don't feel like doing it.
Yeah, sometimes it's like going to the gym or not eating at 11 o'clock at night or whatever it is that you go, I should probably not do this, or I probably should do this. And we've been so ingrained into a way of being, and we actually get addicted to. And one of the things also, speaking of that dependability and bad habits, are the negative thoughts, are the conversations, the negative perspectives.
Well, Sally said it's not happening quick enough right away. So they take your ball and go home. And I think that's probably the number one reason people fail, is because they don't keep going when they don't see immediate results. It's like the farmer who sows the seed. He doesn't go out there and go, where's my crop? No, this is our famous move.
No.
Yeah,
you'll be seeing that later.
He goes, oh, okay. Yeah, I planted it. All right, it's going to take some while. I love that story about a mighty oak tree. Like an olive tree takes 100 years, or an oak tree takes a long time. But when an oak tree is first growing, a little child can come along and rip it up by its roots. But then as it grows and moves into the ground and becomes its full self, it's immovable. Storms can't knock down, nothing can touch an oak. And so, but it takes time. There's what's called, everybody knows the law of attraction from the universal laws, but not many people know the law of gestation. And the law of gestation is that everything takes its own divine timing. A baby takes 9 months, but that's the one thing. You don't pray it comes early. A life that's being created in our stomach, we go, oh no, we trust God's timing on that. Let's please don't come early, because we know if it comes too early, we're not ready for it. I have to say, just on a side note, if you have something, remember what you're going to say.
Okay, well, I was just going to answer some of those.
All right, we'll answer that. So I want to say, I remember I am guilty of this, of not doing the things day in and day out, being dependable and keep going because there's not a payoff. I can't see it quick enough, or wanting things before the right timing, the divine timing. And whenever I got pregnant with Ellie, I wanted to leave. I had my 9-to-5 and a private practice. I was building both. I was building my practice while I was working my 9-to-5. And I prayed every day, God, just release me, find a new way, help me sow more seeds so that I can just leave my 9-to-5, because I want to be home all the time with Ellie, and just lamenting that I wasn't there and really upset about it, and really just wanting to go be a full-time entrepreneur again. I'd done it before, but just do it again, right? And I look back on this time, and now that I'm a full-time entrepreneur again, I forgot how much harder it is than being in a 9-to-5, right? It's much harder. There's much more uncertainty. There's much more fear. There's much more waiting. There's much more sowing seeds. It's not like I sow a seed and then I don't have that person come on as a client maybe right away, or maybe it takes somebody time. But sometimes people come and say, I'll watch your videos for 2 years. Now I'm ready to work with you, And so it takes people time. But then I thought, man, if I had not done the divine timing and I had left while she was a baby, do you know how stressed out I would have been? I wouldn't have been present for her anyway. Mm-hmm. So it was really a blessing that I had that 9-to-5 while she was so young, even though I didn't see it at the time then.
Well, there's always that element of we all want to have the perfect situation. We romanticize life oftentimes, where we see the reality shows, or we see the movie, we read the book, and everything seems to fall into place. And what we don't really recognize as well is all of the work that was taking place prior to that. And the reason why that story is so incredible is because of the obstacles that had to be overcome. So in that moment, the stresses of not being there for Ellie and having to go to work and having to do the travel and having to do those things at the time, you're like, oh, what the F? It would be so much better if I didn't have this. And then we go, wow, now we don't have that. This would be very different, but we don't know that at the time. and we have to embrace the suck, as it were, at times.
Yeah, that divine timing is a thing, and the dependability is the bedrock, because it's really the consistency. It's having integrity. It's showing up in spite of your feelings. And like I had said before, there are some days we come to this really excited and prepared, but there are other days where I'm tired, or I don't really know exactly what I want to be talking about, but we always find a way, because it's our heart's desire to be consistent, to serve. And they're not all going to, just like a batter comes up and you're considered like an expert baseball player if you hit like 2 out of 4 every time. Like,
no, that'd be insane.
1 out of 4,
3 out of 10,
whatever, right? I could tell I like baseball, but so it's like that. It's like the more opportunities you take, the more shots you allow yourself to keep going at it. And then eventually it just pays off. And then all of a sudden you feel like it's magic, right? But it's not magic. It's consistency. It's dependability. It's the stuff that you continue to do on a daily basis in spite of how we feel about it.
Which actually leads into John's comment. It's hard to regain integrity. Well, it's not so much that it's hard as that it just takes time. It's hard to accept the time frame in which it takes, because again, we're a culture of instant gratification. So we're always wanting to get those things fixed, repaired. If I lost integrity, we want to like make it happen, make it all better instantaneously, right? And then and that does it count that I didn't want to listen to positivity because I'm not in so positive a mood?
Yeah, sometimes when I first met Doug, he's the master of state management. I mean, obviously your program is strategic emotional mastery. Okay. It teaches people how to, and I remember one time when I was feeling a really bad day, I was feeling like crap. I had a bunch of negative thoughts in my head. I was just having a bad day. One of those days where everything's off, everything sucks and nothing's going right. And he came over to do his Dr. Strange mind magic on me, right? To change my state and get me feeling different, and tried all these different methods. And I rooted into my pissed offness instead. And I like doubled down in it, because there's this thing like, when you don't witness or recognize, here's what's really important. There's 2 things. Okay. When you're feeling that way, it's not enough just to go, hey, laugh it away, smile it away. It's like a 2-step process, right? So I remember I took you by the hand, I grabbed him by the hand, and I took him upstairs to the bedroom. It's not what you think, okay? But I took him upstairs to the bedroom, and I laid him behind me, and I had him spoon me. And again, it's not what you think. And I started taking his hand like this, and I started going like this. And at first his hand was like a dead fish kind of, and he was like going like this, right? And I'm like, okay,
that's also part of my
so
management.
It was. So I'm like going like this, and then I go, wow, everything sucks right now. And he goes, no, it doesn't. It's honey, there's lots of great things. I'm like, no. Everything sucks right now. And he goes,
oh, everything sucks right now.
Everything sucks right now. And I go, everything is just terrible. And he was like,
everything's terrible.
Everything's terrible. And he wasn't condescending. He was really genuinely authentic about it. And so the thing is true for you is that after that happened with me, then I was prepared to receive an infusion of positivity. But sometimes we're not ready to receive the infusion of positivity until we are witnessed in our own disarray or witnessed in our own feelings. And that bearing witness and somebody validating where you're at, yeah, I get it, right? It does suck.
And what's
this
interesting
is hard.
Is the very fact that going in and wanting to make a difference and change the state and influence isn't enough of an acknowledgement, because it is an acknowledgement to notice that it's there. So that's where it's tough on this end sometimes, because you're like, I am noticing, that's why I'm here doing it. Like,
right. I remember even with Ellie, she taught me this. She reminded me of this when she was 2 years old, and she was in the back seat. And, when the child is throwing a temper tantrum or crying, our natural inclination is to be like, hey, if you stop, I'll give you candy, or hey, change their state, get them to like. And so I realized, and with her when she was 2 years old, that I would say, wow, you're really sad right now. No, I'm mad. Oh, it's important. Not that I acknowledge your emotion, I acknowledge the right emotion.
Yep.
Right? Oh, you're mad. And then as soon as I say, wow, you're mad, it's like, yeah, you see me. And so I just want to witness you. It sucks. Mornings are hard. It's hard when you have a dream in your heart, you're trying to juggle everything, you have people not believing in you, you have a situation that's real, right? This isn't like Pollyanna, put a lens over it and pretend everybody's happy. This is no, it's hard. Sometimes life sucks. Now what do we do about it though, right? Because we don't want to stay there. That's the difference between a victim and a victor. A victim can, we both recognize that we're in peril, but a victor says, but I'm still going to rise above it. I'm still going to find a way because I own my power. I'm not giving anybody else my power today, Annette. I'm not giving anybody else my power. I have my power and I make the decisions about how I choose to feel. But in order for you to get that movement, sometimes you need a witness. Come alongside you, say, I see you, right? That's important.
Well, right, and that's obviously our deepest need is that connection, that appreciation. And it also reminds me of the story of a stone cutter. If you're familiar with a stone cutter, what do? They have this big sledgehammer and they come up to the stone, and what do? They get up to it and they whack it and they hit it and nothing happens.
Yeah.
And the stone cutter knows a few things. They go, okay, boom, hit it, nothing happens. You don't see anything, nothing's really changed, or you might see a little piece go flying off, but that's really it. The stone cutter then gets all set, whacks it again, and nothing happens. But the stonecutter understands dependability in itself, knows that if I just keep at it, what'll happen is at some point, don't know when, but at some point, by just being integral with my focus, my job is to break up this stone, to break through this barrier, to recreate this stone into rubble. If I just keep at it, at one point, that stone from one hit is going to shatter. And what's interesting is that's what happens, and unfortunately with television and media and all of that, with editing, you don't see the hours and hours and hours, the days potentially of the stonecutter just tirelessly just hitting that stone.
Yeah.
So it looks like, oh, it only took 3 hits.
Right.
And then, well, why is it taking me so long? It's like, yeah, but you watched the 30-minute television show that kind of tried to show a month-long journey in 22 minutes.
Sometimes
to finish commercials.
My 600-pound life, they film them for like a year.
And then someone says, they got it off in less than an hour. They lost 50 pounds, 100 pounds. And you're like, whoa.
Some of those things were following them for 10 years.
No,
but you're right, Doug. That is such a brilliant point, is that it's the little tiny things. Like there's The Greatest Salesman in the World in that book that talks about the raindrops shape the mountains. It's these tiny micro movements every day, and the dependability is the bedrock of being able to make the micro movements. Without your ability to depend on yourself or be dependable, to count on yourself no matter what, to wake up when it's hard, to have a crap day, to pick up where, to shake it off or be witnessed and move forward or get the help you need or get a word of encouragement. I mean, there's nothing without that. And some of you on the flip side of that, or the dark side of dependability, if you're like me, a lot of the people that I love to work with had the same challenges as me. You are dependable to everybody else. You are the first one in. When somebody needs something, you're like, yes, you can count on me. Put me in, right? Suit me up and let me go to battle for you. And you spend your life doing that. His boss wants you to stay late and miss your family again. Yep, you can count on me. Somebody wants you to carpool again. Yep, I'm your girl. And you spend your whole life being at the mercy of everybody else instead of loyal to you, right? That matters. And so that's where dependability takes a turn into codependency. And you start living your life for other people. That's not dependability, okay? I understand why we do it. I used to do it too, to endear myself to other people, to become necessary to them so they couldn't live without me because I didn't know my value. And I thought, well, if I endear myself to you like an indentured servant and you feel like your life's going to be harder if I'm not in it, then I win. That's no way to be in a relationship with somebody, right? And being an indentured servant so somebody can depend on you, right, isn't love. But I didn't know that at the time. And so I would just say yes when I meant no. I would take on more than I could. And then I wasn't dependable because I would flake out, right? Or just get overwhelmed.
Or check out.
And so it's really important that when you're dependable, the first person you're accountable to is yourself. What promises are you going to make to yourself on this journey of being successful? And what commitments can you make to you, not to other people? We do this live, not just because we made a commitment to you. We made a commitment to us. right? For our growth and our development.
Because of course we're just talking to you. We don't take any of our own advice.
Well, we come on here because we talked about it yesterday. Why do we do this every morning? Yes, we have a heart to serve. It juices us up to come on here and get on here, and we're teachers, we're preachers, we're speakers. So it helps us because we start this day doing something that we absolutely love to do. We already feel like we've won for the day. What could you do in the morning where you already feel like you're winning? Is it listening to this? Is it applying one of these seeds that we're sowing in you?
Is it just putting your feet down and saying, thank you, I'm awake?
Is it starting your day with gratitude? What is it? And you consistently depend upon yourself to do that. Just start 1 month at a time, 1 week at a time, and you know you're starting to build this trust in yourself that you can count on you no matter what. And that's what we want.
And the other thing you could depend on is that there's going to be resistance in life. So you know going in that, yeah, there's going to be some challenges. There's going to be some opposition. You know you're on the right path when things are when you're getting some pushback, when because that's the thing in anything in order to get growth and working out, it's that resistance. You know that the more resistance you experience, the more you're going to grow. When you're out there building your business, the more you hear no means you're that much closer to a yes. The more you plant those seeds, and I've been out there networking hardcore, and now I'm starting to really meet some incredible people that, not that I wasn't before, but like there gets this tipping point where when you're out there, you're connecting even more, you're attracting all these people. But if you don't go out there and do it, or you only go out once, or I went to one meeting, I made one call, I had one salad, you're not going to get the results that you're committed to. So depend on getting resistance and actually be excited by it.
Okay. Well, honey, we're going to wrap it up. We were helping our friends feel loved today. Do you want to say anything else? Do you want to be a big girl so we can hear some words of encouragement?
I love you.
That's a good word.
Okay, very nice. What else?
Where are you going this weekend?
Disney
this weekend. Are you super excited?
Yeah. 3 more days of school.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
And then you're going to go to...
Boy, it's easy to count to 3.
It's easy to count to 3.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
What's after 3?
1, 2, 3, 4,
Honey, she can
5.
count to 40. Okay. Love you guys. Keep up the good work. You bring positivity to so many people. I've learned this morning.
I've
learned a morning ritual every day, no matter how I feel, is more than likely going to lead to a positive feelings and thoughts. Absolutely, yep. Justin.
100%.
Oh,
awesome. Well, we love you for who you are and who you aren't.
Dad, we don't always have to say that.
We don't have to say it? Yeah, we do always have to say that.
Can you say a new thing?
Why?
You want to say something different? What do you want to say?
And don't worry, we can always be there with you because we love you and we love who you are and who you aren't. Or subscribe to our video instead if you don't know us. Bye.
Bye. Okay. We love you. All right. Oh, wait. Get in the
I like
Instagram
your pose.
frame. There you go.
I like your pose.
All right. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.